Hey kids, let's do section 1. Let's see here. Oh, hold on. Oh, I like that. Alright, section 1.4, monitoring progress, number 3. Okay. Here we're supposed to find the perimeter of triangle DEF. Now it doesn't say triangle DEF, but it's a polygon that only has 3 vertices, so it's a triangle. And here we have our 3 coordinates: D, which is -3, 2, E, which is 4, 2, and F, which is 4, -3. Okay. Well, let's take a look at what this looks like when we graph it. And I don't have any graph paper in front of me right here, but let's see. D is -3 and up 2, so somewhere kind of around here. And E, ooh, I don't like that color very much, is over 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2, so somewhere kind of around here. And F is over 4 and down 1, 2, 3, so kind of somewhere around here. So there's E, there's F. Alright, now drawing the hypotenuse of this happens to be a right triangle here. So let's try and find the lengths of our 3 sides. Well, DE is equal to, notice how, see, D has an x-coordinate of -3 and E has an x-coordinate of 4. So it's going to be the absolute value of -3 minus 4, which equals the absolute value of -7, which is 7. And then EF, well, that's going to be equal to, see, the absolute value of 2 minus -3, which is equal to 5. Well, the absolute value of 5, and then which is just 5. Now, you could, if you graph this on paper, you could just count spaces, and it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's terrible hash marks, but and you could count spaces over here, and it would be just 7. And you could also find that by subtracting one coordinate from the other. Here, since we're going left to right, those are the x-coordinates. It's the difference between the x-coordinates. And here, it's the difference between the y-coordinates because we're going up and down. So there's the calculation for it. So these are for points D and E, the x-coordinates, and for E and F, the y-coordinates. And notice if you pick the other way, D and E have the same y-coordinates, so if you subtracted them, you just get 0. And E and F have the same x-coordinate, which tells you they're right on top of each other, and you need to find the difference between the y-coordinates in order to find how far apart they are. Now that's going to leave us with D, F. And that's going to be the tricky one, because we're going to have to use our distance formula because we can't count spaces along the grid there. So that's x sub 1 minus x sub 2 squared plus y sub 1 minus y sub 2 squared. Let's see, and that's going to be -3 minus 4 squared plus 2 minus -3 squared. Okay, move ourselves down a little bit here. Alright, so we've got -3 minus 4 is -7 squared, plus, let's see, 2 minus -3, that's 5 squared. See, -7 squared is a positive 49. 5 squared is 25. That gives us 49 plus 25, which is 74. And the square root of 74, to bust out my calculator here, is approximately equal to 8.6. Not exactly 8.6, just approximately. So our perimeter, P, is equal to side DE plus side DF plus side EF. If we go back up here to the top, let's see here, scooch everything down. DE was 7 and EF was 5. So let's see, scooch these all up a little bit. Okay. DE was 7 and EF was 5, and DF, we just calculated, was 8.6. That's not a 17, that's just a 7. 7 and 5 is 12. 12 and another 8 is 20. So that gives us 20.6 for the overall perimeter, P. Perimeter.